Hey guys, it is Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Got another one from Gojira today. I keep getting a lot of Gojira requests after doing my first one, and it's my new favorite modern metal band. So we're gonna take a look at their most successful track in Stranded here. It's got a whammy pedal on it, so hopefully you have a whammy pedal at your full disposal. It really makes that main riff sound like the main riff, but you can probably get away without it. I don't know, it won't sound like it, but you still play the same part and it sounds pretty cool. Anyway, before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. It really helps you see when I release a new video so you can actually watch them, which really helps the most. And like and comment all the videos. And if you really want to support what I do here on YouTube, the best way to support anything I do online is that link in the description, the link to my Guitar Academy. It's a GL365 Academy. Contains all my guitar courses. One subscription gets you full access to the entire academy, all the courses. Free. We do weekly, every Saturday we do live streams with just me and academy members, so you can get all your questions answered every week. You also get personalized support from me beyond that as well. So please check out that link. You get a free 7-day trial by clicking that link. All right, so let's jump into it here. We are in D standard, as Gojira typically tunes down to. So that is every string on the guitar, on a standard tune guitar, tuned down a whole step. So that would make this E string a D, A string a G, the D string a C, the G string an F, the B string an A, and then the high E string a D. I'll put those notes in the description. It's probably best to use electric tuner for all this stuff. Now, let's talk about this main riff that kind of goes throughout the song. So it's a quick little down, up, down. So it's a group of 3 hits. And then you just quickly mute it. So just on the low, now I'm gonna call this the low E string because I'm not smart enough to rename the strings because of this new tuning. So we're just still gonna call it an E string and an A string and a D string and stuff, but we know we're tuned down a whole step, right? Right, all right, so let's start with this, these groups of 3, heavily palm muted, down, up, down, then mute it. And then it goes into this. So what's going on in the left hand here is it's sliding into the 3rd fret there on the D. Then you play the 2nd fret there on the G. Oop, my whammy pedal decided to get involved already. So 3 on the D, then 2 on the G, open B, and then back down to the 2 on the G. Now, when he goes into that figure, there's obviously 2 guitars in the band. One kind of stays low, usually when they're playing the main riff. I think it's just one guitar when they come in. But the main guitar is gonna kick in a whammy pedal that takes the notes up 2 octaves, all right? So that's what you're hearing. They're hearing. So I'm using a Line 6 Helix here that has like a Digitech, the kind of classic Digitech whammy pedal built into it. That's probably what they're using, probably using the actual Digitech whammy pedal, so it's probably responding even better for them. Sounds, kind of really good when they do it. So it's basically that riff. Then I just rock the whammy pedal forward, and then I bring it back real quick down back to the heel, so it's not affecting the pitch anymore. So to the toe of the pedal, and then back down real quick. Now, I think a lot of times they're letting the notes bleed together. I'm not sure if they're doing that with the whammy pedal. If I try to do that with this whammy pedal, let the notes bleed together, the pitch gets all off. So I have to kind of make them kind of separate the notes. But you can hear them, especially the one that's not doing the whammy, is just going. And he's letting them ring together. All right, so when you're doing this riff, it comes in, it plays it like 4 times straight, just a little whammy before the band kicks in. But then we have this little hit that happens right at the end of the riff that leads the band in, and they do that every other time after that. So it's like this. So you hear that little hit there. So it's basically, if you're doing it without, when you get straight back down to the 2nd fret there on the G, then just, you basically hit the top 4 strings, the D string through the high E, open, and then start the riff over. So then as he continues that riff, he'll basically do it like this. I'll just do it without the whammy here. So this is when the band comes in. So that's without that hit. Now with. See that little hit? So you're gonna hear that little hit there really happen every other time in the riff a lot of times in the song. All right, now let's get to the verse. All right, so that's pretty much more of those 3s, but we're not doing any pausing now, and we're doing it across 2 strings. So playing a full E power chord here. So you have the open E, and then the 2nd fret there on the A string. So you're gonna be doing that down, up, down across those strings. It's still, now the palm muting here is also kind of a feel thing because it's not like really, really heavily, like completely palm muted, and it's not, you're not letting it ring open. But you got it that setting when you kind of have your palm right in the right spot and the right pressure, and it gives it that kind of that bouncy qualities where the notes still kind of resonate, but so they're not fully muted, but kind of, so you can still kind of do that. So you can still hear it, and that's what they've got there. It's kind of this kind of half palm muted sound. So it's just that down, up, down, down, up, down. It's kind of more rapid. It's not like in the beginning where they're kind of cutting it off. They just. And then that saying, and you really let these bleed together. That 3 on the D, 2 on the G, open B, 3 on the G. So no whammy bar stuff going there. So they do that like 4 times, and that's kind of the only time you hear that verse. And then it gets to the chorus riff, which when you first hear the chorus here in the song, you hear the riff played twice without any vocals, and then the vocals come in. The chorus riff itself is usually played like, the chorus itself is 4 times through. And later on the song, they'll double that to 8 times through. But the first time you hear the chorus, you're going to hear the riff played without any vocals 2 times through. And then you get to the normal chorus where it's played 4 times with the vocals and has that normal ending to it. So here's the first time you would hear this chorus. All right, so it's pretty easy to play. You start here at the power chord off the 1st fret of the low E string. So I'm playing the 3-fingered power chord of that, so I get the 3rd fret on the A and the D, and then that 1st fret on the low E string. So the rhythm is you're gonna hit the low E palm muted twice. So the bottom string twice, then the full chord twice. And you do that on every chord. Now move it up to the 5th fret. Then down to the 3rd fret, then the open E power chord. Now Joe usually he likes to kind of play like that, which he just kind of shifts it back, and then he goes back to the F. So it's just those 4 chords. just kind of continue that riff a few times on that E power chord at the end of the chorus. All right, so then the chorus, like I said, will be twice as long a little bit later. But then we had this, I guess we just call it an a cappella section. So it's really just the bass kind of guitar driving, like a distorted bass guitar going. And then you hear, I think it's after like 4 bars, you hear. And then it's back to the chorus. So basically, kind of halfway through this section, when there's not a lot going on with the guitar, it's just mostly bass, you hear that same melodic line that we did earlier. That's part of the main riff and the verse. You hear that come in, and then just those top strings, just let them ring, feedback, whatever. So this is, he lets that ring over the kind of the second half of this, and at the very end, before they go to the chorus, they do this little octave thing, which is just a 7th fret there on the A and 9th on the G. All the other strings are muted. So you're playing that octave at the 7th fret, then 8, then 10, and then it goes back to the chorus. And then when you hear the chorus this time, the vocals come in immediately. And it's played twice as long. Now it repeats. Doesn't have that ending yet. So it just does it twice as long, and at the end it's gonna have. And then we go back to the main riff with a, obviously done with a whammy pedal. I'm gonna abandon the whammy pedal for the rest of the lesson, so let you know when that comes in. So you hear that main riff there, and then we continue with the main riff, and Joe plays a solo over it. Now this solo is once again using octaves, and I've seen him play it in 2 different areas. I think it sounds better where when I see him play it live, I see live videos of him playing it with the octave built off the A string. It uses the same notes either way, but in the official video, he's playing it up here. Same exact notes, same octaves or whatever, but different strings. So I'm gonna go with the live version, what he's playing live. He's like I said, he's played it in both areas of the fretboard, and it doesn't really matter. I just think it sounds better down here. The timbre sounds a little bit better than doing it on the low string. So maybe he thought that too as time went on, and he just kind of flipped it over to these strings. So anyway, so what's going on? The melody looks like this. All right, so we're basically just playing the melody of this octave, the 3rd fret there on the A string, and the 5th fret there on the G. So you just play that there. Now I'm gonna just show you where to slide this octave shape down. So wherever your index finger is gonna be the fret that I'm calling out. So it starts at 3, then down to 2, then up to 7, so same string sets, then up to 8. All right, then the second time through the melody, it's a little bit different. It starts with 3-2 again. And then here, he goes up to 7, but then quickly goes back to 5, then 8. So instead of going 7, 8, he just goes 7, 5. And remember, why he's doing this, kind of a down-up strum. All right, so solo's pretty simple, and like that's going on over the main riff, by the way. So just make sure you got both parts going. Then it gets back to the same chorus again. All right, so out of the chorus, we get to, I guess we can call it a bridge. It's kind of in a weird spot to be a bridge, but they just kind of change it up. Let's go into a whole new section here. And they're using full bar chords here for the most part. So it's like this. All right, so that's just basically going to start out with an F major bar chord. So all you metal guys don't get to play full bar chords very often. So here we go. So it's just a full bar at the first fret with your third fret there. Playing the third fret on the A, D, and the second fret there on the G. So it kind of hits the lower strings on the chord first, then hit the higher string. And then we kind of do the same process with an A minor. So move this bar up to the 5th fret and just pick up the middle finger there. So it's just A minor bar chord, and then go back to the 3rd fret and back to the major shape, just like we did here, but just at the 3rd fret. Do the same thing. Now this one actually sounds like there's at least you can play this. They have the same notes, but this sounds like there's a guitar in there, maybe just on the recordings. I don't see them do it live. Then you can hear the open D and G, open D, G, and B string. You can just tell it's an open string, so I'm sure they're doing some overdubs on the recording to make it sound bigger. So if you have 2 guitars, maybe one does the bar chord, which is how I see them play it live, or one can play the open as well, just to kind of change it up like that. And then we have this little octave thing slide. So this is off the 3rd fret of the low E string. So 3rd fret on the low E, 5th fret there on the D. Mute all the other strings. So you can strum that octave, slide it up to 5, then back down to 3. And then you start over. Repeat. So you're going to do this 4 times. And the 4th time, you're not going to do that octave thing. Just like hold on the G. And then it takes us to the main riff. Like we did at the beginning of the song with the whammy pedal and everything there too. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a fun song to play. It's not very difficult. Probably the hardest part is the verse, because it's pretty rapid, picking and across 2 strings, which is a little bit awkward. But hopefully you guys can get this under your fingers pretty quickly. All right, I'll see you guys again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.